Good afternoon. It is July 24th, 2020. Um, this is the Friday afternoon update on the very, very busy tropics that are in the Atlantic and the Pacific here. We have 92L that has just come off of the African coast. I'm not going to cover this for very long. This is just going to continue on westward towards the islands, and models have it developing somewhere in here. And the future of the storm needs to be watched closely coming in the coming weeks. There are some model solutions that are kind of disturbing, but again, it's too early to really forecast exactly what happens with the system. It does have to develop first. And then you have Tropical Storm Gonzalo here and Tropical Storm Hanna here. This is moving a lot of atmosphere into the Texas Gulf Coast. And we have Hurricane Douglas. Hurricane Douglas has undergone an eyewall replacement cycle, and you can see that that has since completed, and the eye is beginning to clear out again. It's kind of surprising that the storm has still been able to maintain major hurricane strength for a while here. According to the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, this is pinned at 120 miles per hour still, so this is a pretty strong hurricane still, and will likely remain a hurricane on approach to the islands. One thing to note is that the 3-day cone forecast from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center has shifted significantly to the north. It still may pass pretty close to the Big Island, which would weaken the storm more. But if it does pass further to the north of the Big Island, then it will likely maintain its circulation better. And if that is to happen, then we may be dealing with something that is a little stronger in here in the rest of the island chain. And so you need to be watching for the progress of the storm as it approaches. This should be here by Sunday, and impacts should be starting early Sunday morning. And as always, with these storms that approach Hawaii from the west or from the east, just always watch for heavy rain and mudslides. All the information that you need is at the National Weather Service Honolulu website. I will have that link below. As always, just stay safe and stay informed. Okay, next we have Tropical Storm Gonzalo here, which has really kind of just almost completely fallen apart here. This is very close to being an open wave. The recon mission today found a very weak circulation in here, and convective presentation has become far less than impressive. The recon mission found that the circulation was not very tight at all. You have very weak winds on the southern side and very strong winds on the northern side, which indicate that the storm has become a part of a trade burst, and the circulation has become elongated and has essentially been stretched out to the point of where it is no longer able to really function as a actual independent entity as a tropical storm. This is probably now a tropical wave that is just or getting very close to becoming a tropical wave here as it continues to die out due to continued dry air ingestion. And I don't really see this storm becoming as strong as it was forecast at some point. It is no longer forecast to get much stronger. You can see that it now is officially supposed to remain a tropical storm upon approach to the islands. The good news is that the effects on the islands will likely be a lot less, and you can still bet on having gusty winds and rainy conditions, but definitely not the level that we were looking at earlier, where we were expecting it to become a hurricane. That is no longer the case here with Gonzalo. All right, now on to Hanna. This is a massive storm here. This has really been just an impressive convective show here that this storm has produced. Earlier today, it was being sheared by this upper level ridge that we talked about yesterday that was going to be centered over Oklahoma and steering the storm to the south a little bit if the storm was able to deepen. The shear was largely out of the northwest. The shear has now shifted due to the upper level ridge being shifted a little bit over to the east. Now the shear is coming out of the northeast a little bit, which is more in line with the overall movement of the storm, which is currently almost due west, and the storm has thus recovered a little bit from the shear today. It is still asymmetrical because if you look at the, this is the visible satellite here, you can see that some of the inflow channels are drawing upon drier air that is getting wrapped into the circulation. You can see that here. A couple of the inflow channels are drawing upon continental dry air that was sampled as not terribly dry, but still dry. These are according to the soundings that were from Corpus Christi and Brownsville, which both found somewhat dry mid-level and a somewhat dry mid-level atmosphere here. That has likely not affected the storm too much and will likely not continue to affect the storm as much as the core is becoming better defined here, and the mid-level circulation has seemingly stacked on the lower level circulation, or it is very, very close. We're seeing a hot tower right now go around what appears to be a well-defined surface circulation. If you look at the Houston-Galveston radar, you can see that hot tower actually trying to wrap around here what is at least a bone of a surface circulation that is very well defined now, and you can see the banding that has been feeding this core of the storm almost all day and has led to the gradual organization of the inner core. And now that the inner core is either very close or is completed, we can expect what is probably going to be a heightened intensification pace that we're going to see within the next 24 hours. This may be able to rapidly intensify. We're not entirely sure at this point. Regardless, it will be intensifying upon approach here to the lower Texas coast here, and anywhere that is under a tropical storm warning, so extending from Freeport here all the way down to Port Isabel here. You need to be watching for every movement of the storm here, as this will likely be becoming pretty strong. It may become pretty strong here prior to landfall. There is a possibility that it does become a hurricane, but the National Hurricane Center currently does not have any hurricane watches up for the Texas coast yet. What will be very interesting is recon tonight. If it does indeed find a stronger storm that is embedded in here. If that is true, then if we do find a strong storm, then maybe the intensity forecast will go up with the National Hurricane Center. Right now, the tropical storm has winds of 50 miles per hour, but some models have this deepening pretty fast before landfall, and it may become the H-Wharf is one of the most notable of these that brings it up to a Category 2 hurricane before making landfall here. I will have another update in the morning regarding this storm. And really, this is a massive storm. So regardless of whether or not this does in fact intensify into a Category 2, you can see here that the circulation is carrying a ton of moisture with it, and this will all be moving to the into South Texas, and you can expect rainfall totals of around a foot in some areas. This is going to be moving. This is not going to be moving too fast, too. This is only moving right now about 7 miles per hour to the west-northwest per the latest National Hurricane Center advisory. And this will slow down as it continues to deepen due to reasons that we mentioned earlier. If you go back to the upper level ridge, that is, the upper level flow is not particularly strong in here, and this will likely continue to not be very strong. So, and really this does have a pretty good 24-hour window. to intensify. I will be back in the morning with another update on this storm specifically, because I doubt that Gonzalo will be much importance anymore. But yeah, as always, stay tuned to the National Weather Service in Corpus Christi for all the latest regarding this system. Also, National Weather Service in Brownsville. They will also have all the information that you need regarding this. Please do, if you are on the coast, be prepared for a hurricane that may make landfall. I'm not saying that it will be a hurricane, but you need to be prepared for something that may be a little stronger than what is currently forecast. Intensity forecasting is still in its infancy, and you need to be prepared for whatever is coming your way. That's all. Thanks for watching.